The Department of Public Works will use technology to improve snow removal efforts. We'll tell you how. And officials shut down an illegally operating needle exchange in Hyannis following a police investigation. We get details from Police Chief Paul McDonald. All of that on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Tuesday, September 29th, 2015. I'm Sarah Mannel. The Department of Public Works hopes a new program will help improve snow removal efforts. DPW Director Dan Santos says if approved, they will soon outfit GPS trackers on DPW vehicles, allowing for real-time updates on road plowing.
What it is basically is we outfit each of our vehicles, the town public works vehicles, and we're going to extend this to our contractor vehicles as well, where we attach, basically it's a black box in the vehicle. What it is it's a GPS-based device that communicates with satellites and basically allows us to know where all those vehicles are in real time. And particularly with snow and ice, we have our emergency response center here over at the Highway Administration Division, and I think you've filmed this before. We have the large board, and we have the whole map of the town on there. But we're going to replace that with a smart board, so we will, through computer system, project the entire town on that board, and we will know where every single plow is at any moment. And not only that, but the system allows us to say, if a plow doesn't go down a road within 2 hours or 4 hours or some time limit that we'll set, the road will actually change color. So we'll know what roads have not been plowed or which ones haven't been plowed as much as others.
And Santos says the program will cost the town about $45,000 a year, but will allow the department to offer the highest level of services throughout the winter. The project will need town council's approval. Police and health officials shut down an illegally operating needle exchange on South Street in Hyannis. Barnstable This Morning host Sarah Colvin talked with Chief of Police Paul McDonald about the investigation, illegal activities, and next steps.
Chief, interesting developments in the quest to kind of deal with substance abuse, the issues surrounding the homeless. Of course, we've heard a lot about finding needles around, and this is kind of connected with that in terms of a needle exchange that was operating illegally here in the town of Barnstable. So tell me a little bit about this. Take me back to the first discoveries in this case.
Well, what happened when we were cleaning up the camps, we cleaned up a total of 8 camps, and all 8 camps were littered with literally hundreds of hypodermic needles. And also, in the course of a day, it's not uncommon for us or the fire departments to get calls regarding needles thrown on the side of the road, where in the sidewalk we had to go pick them up. During the course of the investigation, we found out that almost all of the needles were coming from a location on South Street, 428 South Street, Hyannis, which is the Provincetown Aid Support Group. They own the building. We found out they was running it as a needle exchange operation. We then checked with the Department of Public Health, and they said across the state they have licenses for 10 separate needle exchanges that will cover the entire Commonwealth. But they said right now there are only 4 that are running, they're up and running. They're located in Provincetown, Boston, Cambridge, and Northampton, none in Hyannis. So at that time, we then got one of our confidential informants. We sent the informant in, and we gave us very specific directions just to go in there and see if he can exchange 1 hypodermic needle. The person went in, and they come out. They did not have anything to exchange. They just asked for hypodermic needle, and what they did was they gave him a box of 100 hypodermic needles. So that kind of explains where all these needles are coming from throughout the town. We then contacted our Board of Health, Tom McKee, and the entire Board of Health Regulatory Services. They were great. They worked with us, including Ruth Weil. We then went out and talked to them and set them up with a cease and desist order to stop handing out these hypodermic needles.
Absolutely, and I think, Chief, it's one thing to have a safe needle exchange in that you don't want to spread disease. If you bring one, you get one, but just walking in there, empty-handed and coming out with a box of 100 is kind of frightening. Now, was there other paraphernalia that folks were being able to kind of take advantage of from this location as well, or was it just needles?
Well, what they were given, they're given like an entire kit. Once they go in there, they're asked for hypodermic needles. They're given a box of 100 hypodermic needles. Then they're given 2 tourniquets. A tourniquet is something that you put around your arm and it's used to pop the vein. Then they're given sterile water. They're given alcohol swabs, cotton balls, and then they're given little tins. And of course, the little tin is something that you heat up to melt the heroin, the cocaine, to get into hypodermic needles, and to inject into yourself. So they're kind of like giving these people a little safe drug kit. They're giving them everything except for the narcotics. And with that also comes a safe sex kit that they also come in this package. So they're giving them just about everything they need except for the narcotic, which to me is totally unacceptable, and to me that is just enabling individuals. So
absolutely.
Yeah, and if we find these needles at the beaches, and I know they're doing it as a public safety. They're trying to do it to prevent the spread of AIDS, HIV, so on and so forth. But the negative effects they're having by having these needles littering the streets, the beaches, the playgrounds, they're jeopardizing the entire community. And 95% of all hypodermic needles that we found in the camps, none of them are capped. I mean, they're all just exposed.
Absolutely, and I have a friend who was trying to encourage his kids to go out and help clean up their neighborhood, and when they were cleaning up the neighborhood, picking up the regular trash, found a needle right there on the ground. And it's like, A, what do you say to your kids? And B, that shouldn't be something that local children are encountering. It's certainly a big concern.
Absolutely. We did a presentation at Town Council 2 weeks ago. There was a short video that we put out there with a couple of individuals actually shooting up on the town green. And you can see them use a tourniquet, put the tourniquet on their arms, then use the needles. Once they're through, they dispose of the needles in the local trash bin, where then DPW has to go and pick them up. God forbid if they get pricked by those needles.
So, Chief, do you think that the closure of this illegal needle exchange is going to make an impact, at least right now?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That one person that we sent in, she got 100 hypodermic needles. If that only happens just 4 or 5 or 6 times a day, we're taking off 600 hypodermic needles off the street. So it's going to make a huge difference. And to me, the Provincetown AIDS Support Group, I know it's a great organization to try and do the right thing, but that is just so irresponsible with what they were doing.
Now, is there further investigation that's going along with this,
yes.
Chief?
Yes.
And any charges at this time, or just a closure of that operation right now?
We are still working with them, with DPW, with our Board of Health, to find out what rules and regulations they're in violation of. It's not really a criminal offense, or probably some type of civil infraction, but we are definitely following up on this. We will continue to monitor that very, very closely, because we just can't allow that to happen. To get them licensed, they have to go through the Department of Public Health. They have to get licensed through them. But not only that, if they come into a community, the community has to vote on it too, not by the Board of Health, but the Town Council. There has to be a presentation, time for public comment, and then the Town Council themselves will have to vote to allow that come in. So that they just circumvented the entire process.
Absolutely. Chief, moving on from that, and excellent work on that. I think, as you said, that's going to go a long way to help alleviate some of the issues that we're having. I'm looking back over the past week. What do we have going on in police action?
Well, we had the drug drop-off this past Saturday. That went very, very well. We had approximately 51 residents bring in a significant amount of narcotics, home medication. This was the first time we've had it. We've had it twice a year, every 6 months. But when we do not have this, we have the drug drop-off box in our front lobby. So this is an opportunity for us to get rid of all of those unwanted drugs. The DEA not only will pick up the drugs that came in on Saturday, but they'll pick up all the unwanted drugs that came in the last 6 months. And in total, we turned back in 252 pounds, of unwanted medication, which is a significant amount of medication we're taking off the street. So that was huge.
And you can hear from Chief McDonald every Tuesday morning on our 1-hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning. The Town Manager Search Committee will meet tonight at 6 o'clock in the Selectmen's Conference Room, and the Conservation Commission will meet at 6:30. That meeting will be held in the Town Hall hearing room. Well, be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 7 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we will talk with Finance Director Mark Milne. We'll chat with CEO and President of the Hyannis Area Chamber of Commerce, Jessica Silver. Plus, we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.